Like, he has multiple forms of immortality. He has stacking immortality. He's such a goober. This town could literally be anywhere in this fucking mess, and I don't like that. Serpent cultist! But I want to help the cute Snakey. Even though it's the bad guy. That's supposed to be a snake god? That's a puny god. Rude. Oh, we failed the mission? That's bullshit. Lame. Yeah, I think my minions actually kind of screwed that up for me because they weren't letting the minions get to the snake god. That's dumb. I don't like that event very much. I don't like that you're at the mercy of the AI snake going to the right spot. It's dumb. What's my favorite thing about Tsarina Katerin? My favorite thing about Katerin would probably... I mean, my favorite thing ultimately about her is that she is incredibly brave. In the sense that, like, she's actually really young and had to take over the throne of Kislev at a very young age because Tsar Boris died, you know, well before he should have. Due to the machinations of chaos. And despite the fact that she's relatively young, she does not take shit from anybody. I mean, that girl goes full-on toe-to-toe with Kostaltin in a political sense. And has to deal with, like, so much shit coming from, she has to deal with so much garbage coming from the Great Orthodoxy and the other forces present in Kislev, but she has managed to, you know, keep a hold on things, despite the fact that most in her position would have gotten utterly overwhelmed, like hilariously so. And the country, by right, should have fallen apart by this point, but she manages. She does well for herself. Though I imagine she does really live a very kind of stressful and in many ways lonely existence. And she has to juggle a lot of very difficult secrets and like powers and enemies. You know, Kislev is very much split between three forces, well, actually four forces, to be honest, because it's split between the Great Orthodoxy, it's split between the parts of those cults that did not kneel to the Great Orthodoxy, it's split then between the Hags. Actually, no, it's split between 6 groups, because you've got the Ungals, the Gospodars, the Hags, and like the the ancient worshippers of the Ancient Widow, then the Ice Court, who are also agents of the Ancient Widow, but far more modern, and like not necessarily in favor of, not really fond of working with the Hags, because they have different aims despite the fact that they're working for the same deity. Or entity, I should say. I don't know if calling the Ancient Widow a deity is accurate. Calling her an entity is more accurate. So like, she has to juggle a lot. And there's a lot of people that really don't like her. Especially because she's trying to do what her father and also Tsar Alexei did, where they are trying to like drag Kislev kicking and screaming into the modern age, despite the fact Kislev in a lot of ways does not want to embrace the modern age, which is, it's hard. It's really hard. Like, probably the most badass thing that she has done, as far as like, was extremely difficult for her to not only do, but like has incredible consequences, was for Kislev's sake and for Yuri's sake. She came out and said that the Ungals could become boyars. That the Ungals were able, just like you don't have to be of the Gospodar bloodline in order to functionally be a noble, which is a huge and very, very, very dramatic shift in the politics of Kislev. Like, that is outright heresy as far as the Gospodar bloodlines are concerned, because they don't want to have to deal with the Ungals, you know, contesting them for rulership of various places. But like, it finally gives the Ungals like political authority to like have, you know, stand up for themselves and have representatives representing them accurately, instead of just always being beholden to the Gospodar's will and just being like run over. So, you know, that's all really exciting and interesting stuff, even though it's going to, oh, hey, we found it. Even though it's going to cause a lot of problems.
The door bears an image of a snake. Her eyes are missing. Perhaps returning them here is the key to opening the way.
Snake cult, huh? Love me some good snake cults. You might say I'm a snake cultist myself, or I'm something of a snake cultist myself. Ooh, we're getting a lot of legendaries. Sure, that's fine. Do I imagine Koresh and Snaky Thing will be somewhat like the swamp? I can see some similarities. You know, I think it's probably going to be taken to an even bigger extreme. Though I am really curious to see how they're going to do Koresh when we eventually cross that. Threshold. It should be very interesting. Because I do think that Games Workshop is like trying to be a lot better about not just coming out and pulling the old trope of like, oh, it's this culture, it's this human culture, but a fantasy race. Because I think they've kind of come to understand that that doesn't necessarily translate as smoothly as they would like and can sometimes come off in a bad way. So I am very interested to see how they are going to, which there are ways to handle that. Like, I do think, although I know they don't want to, like, at least publicly look at it, I do think there is a lot to gain from them looking at the Koresh project on the, like, the Total War subreddit. Because I think from there they can get a lot of information about like all the mythologies and creatures and myths that could be very easily adapted into making like a really fascinating, fun, horrific set of monsters that, you know, draw very heavily from Southeast Asian mythology without pulling the trick of being like, look, they're Southeast Asian humans, but monsters. Because that could be a trap if you're not careful. You know, I think
cannot carry more.
I think if you're ever gonna, whenever you pull the idea of like, I'm gonna take this culture and adapt it into my universe, you have to be really careful with when you do that, especially if it's a living culture, because you don't want it to come off like, oh, it's like this culture, but they're all evil.
The locals don't want help cleansing the evils of the swamps, and we've made no progress in finding the tomb of Akarat. Why are we still here? You can't be serious, Tomiris. Morgan's folly is lost in ruins. Going back is...
This isn't like before. This isn't for the fort, for Akarat. Surely you understand that.
Oh. What? Cool. I found a totem for my horse somehow. How does Zarbinzet survive in a place so unforgiving?
Crusaders used to keep us safe, but they've gone and started dying off. Folks are scared, looking to leave. Hell, so am I. We've survived, yes, but I'm not sure this place will hold out for much longer.
I wonder how long it's going to take for Crusaders to get released in this game. What brought the Crusaders here?
Akarat's tomb. Fool's errand, if you ask me. Poor sods have been looking for decades with nothing to show.
Is the swamp fully mapped?
Sure. Crusaders took care of that ages ago. But no one goes beyond the walls. That's where the swamp folk live. Best to avoid them if you can. Lightless wretches they are.
How does the Faith survive in a place like this?
Huh. Good question. Crusaders are giving up. People are leaving. But our priests...
Save me, Akarat.
Huh.
Sorry.
Good question. Crusaders
I didn't
are
realize he
giving
was
up.
still talking.
People are leaving. But our priests got enough faith for the whole town over. Everyone needs a pillar. For now, he's ours.
Save me, Akarat. You whoreson bastard. Haven't we given enough? Done enough? 60 years I toiled, and for what?
You're 60?
You promised salvation. Give me what I'm owed, damn it!
I don't know if threatening your god's going to go over well. All empty. Where faith fails to provide solace, perhaps drink is a solid substitute. Okay. When you go over to the blacksmith and break a bunch of shit down. I also need to visit the dude over here.
You hear her last night? Running through the streets, screaming bloody murder.
There's a
Did
crusader.
everyone? The woman's mind is going.
She and all the other crusaders.
Talking an awful lot of shit for someone in crusading range.
First Carlo, now Leah. There's something out there killing us and no one will do anything.
You're right. I won't do anything.
I'm lying there, forearm gashed open, and the swamp hag brings me a fistful of maggots. Filthy. I said I'd rather lose my damn arm than stick those nasty little buggers in it. That's damn near what happened, too.
Have a good night, Knuckle. Maggots are good for treating wounds, though, if applied by someone that knows what they're doing.
A traveler. Where are you from? What's it like? No, don't tell me. I'll see for myself. Oh, and I've got the coin to leave. Seems like anywhere's better than here.
Now, can I imprint? Hell yeah, I can. Oh, that's sexy. Oh, okay, I've already extracted that before. Hey, Jakku, how you doing, man? Good to see you. How's life?
You can still use these.
Just because that'll give me probably
Come back if you need the
good
forge.
mats.
That's a deal.
I'll shake on that. Yeah, give it over.
Just woke up? Well, good morning, evening, afternoon, or wherever it is you are. I don't know what your time zone is. Okay, so my weapons. There we go. Very good. Did Echold ever get ordered around work with the Changeling or Hellman? Hellman? I assume you mean, Horseman. Hellman is Hellman Gorst, the Necromancer. I assume you mean, Egrim von Horseman. And the answer is no. To our knowledge, Echold Hellbreast never worked for anybody. The only time he shows up in the lore after his creation, is that he appears... he appears to participate in Archaon's Vanguard, but it's likely he just kind of like got caught up in it, as opposed to being like an act. He wasn't like a general or anything. He was just kind of there.
Out of essence.
Seems I accidentally reset the quest.
The door bears an image of a snake. Her eyes are missing. Perhaps returning them here is the key to opening the way.
What class am I going to choose for seasonal? I'm thinking maybe druid. Because sorcerer is apparently really bad right now. So I'd like to do a druid playthrough. That was a nice chest. That's not terrible, but not as good as what I have. Where the fuck? Slay the serpents. What happened to you?
The villagers, those fools. They wouldn't listen when we demanded the gems to open the temple. Death found them. It's the way of things. But I hear them still, their warnings. 4 of us are dead now. And I am soon to follow.
Yoink. Just finished reading the Vampire War, started reading the Sundering. Oh, dude, the Sundering Omnibus is excellent. It's a really great read. Get out of my way, nerds. Yoink. Open the door. The Slithering Dark. There's probably a big old pissed off snake in here somewhere. Their snake's got too many heads. I have found so many legendaries today. Like, they're dropping like candy.
Every few years, we play host to migrants determined to join our settlement. And every few years, I must preach the laws of the swamp. All things in the swamp must be earned. Nothing is free. Nothing is given or gifted. And to our God, we pay the ultimate tithe.
Interesting. Ooh, okay. Exploding spore mushrooms. That seems like the right direction. I'd rather go the wrong direction first. Oh, that's a big ol' snake there. That's cool. I like that effect. Too bad I can't play a serpent cultist. That'd be fun.
By the will of our God, that our village has long remained safe. We do not slay, though our children multiply in the swamp, circling us, feeding off us when it suits them.
So it seems that there's gonna be, yeah, it seems like there's gonna be a boss fight up ahead. Probably against a really fucking big snake. Just the biggest snake. Oh. Sotek? Hello?
This must be it.
What could go wrong? Oh. You're not that big.
I'm not ready.
I mean, you're ugly. You are a boss fight, I'll grant you that. Man, here I thought I was gonna get to have a cool fight versus like a Sotek-sized snake god. No, it's just a ugly-ass Gorgon snake lady thing. How disappointing.
I need more time. I
of
need
the
more
title
time.
Snake God.